The moment my phone buzzed with that photo from neighbor Dolores, everything changed. There I was, stuck at a dusty construction site miles away, staring at strangers in crisp business suits, measuring the deck of my grandfather's cabin like they owned it. A realtor in flashy designer heels stood in my driveway, gesturing proudly at the place as if her commission was already in the bank. The smell of spilled coffee turned sour in my truck cab, my hands shaking as Veronica Ashworth's smug voicemail played through the speaker. Just exploring community improvement options, Garrett. You understand? No, Veronica. I didn't understand how anyone could think they had the right to sell what wasn't theirs. That cabin wasn't just wooden nails. It was 43 years of family history. My grandfather Fletcher bought those 2 acres back in 1981 with his Korean War disability check. Came home with shrapnel scars and nightmares that never fully left, but found real peace by that quiet lake. He built every inch himself. Cut the boards, drove the nails, ran the plumbing that still outperforms half the new builds around here. Summers with him meant sticky pine sap on our fingers while we stained the deck, him telling me, "This is our forever home, Garrett. Nobody can take what you build with your own sweat." He passed 3 years ago and left it all to me. Now it's where my 16-year-old daughter Mackenzie hides out when the divorce tension at home gets too thick, and where I escape every weekend after 60-hour weeks of jackhammers and yelling foremen. That land predates the HOA by 3 decades. Grandpa's deed proves it. Enter Veronica Ashworth, the HOA president who rolled in from California 2 years back, driving a spotless white BMW she washes obsessively, convinced our little community desperately needed upgrading. She speaks in legalese to bully people, measures grass with a wooden ruler like it's elementary school, and points out violations with those manicured nails. 6 months earlier, she'd hit me with a citation calling Grandpa's hand-built workshop a non-conforming rustic structure that didn't fit her suburban vision, demanding $15,000 in compliance fees or a full rebuild. Well, I told her exactly where she could shove those fees, in language Grandpa would have chuckled at. She escalated to this real estate ambush. The realtor, her old USC sorority sister. The flyers called my sanctuary a prime development opportunity with tear-down potential for lake access amenities. They were openly discussing bulldozing the workshop for a yoga studio. But they had zero legal ground. This was pure intimidation to scare me into selling cheap, so she could flip it to developers for a fortune. It wasn't just money at stake. That cabin held Grandpa's memory, Mackenzie's safe space, my quiet refuge. The rough texture of those hand-hewn porch rails, the evening loons calling over the water, the old percolator's coffee scent on Saturday mornings. Veronica wanted to erase it all for property values and uniformity. Neighbors were watching nervously. Old Mrs. Patterson fined for her too colorful rose garden. The Hendricks family hit daily for parking their work truck in their own driveway. Everyone wondered if regular folks could still live here, or if money and threats always won. Veronica picked the wrong fight. Grandpa survived frozen Korean foxholes. I wasn't about to let some HOA tyrant steal his legacy. A week later came her formal letter on phony legal letterhead. Notice of abandoned property statute violation. Claiming my weekend-only use meant abandonment under some code. Threatening $500 daily fines unless I moved in full-time or surrendered the deed for community benefit. She'd CC'd her tennis buddy, the county commissioner. The message: I'm connected, you're not. Roll over. Construction workers solve problems for a living. When something cracks, we dig to the root. Over lunch, I hit the county clerk's office, that musty basement smelling of old coffee and lost dreams. Clerk Beverly pulled Grandpa's 1981 survey. Our line extended 50 feet farther north than anyone thought. The HOA's fancy community mailbox cluster. Smack on my land. Better yet, the deed had a grandfathered clause. Perpetual rights, municipal exemptions intact. No later HOA could override it. Old paperwork saves more builds than people realize. That evening, Dolores showed up with oatmeal cookies and dynamite intel. Veronica had offered her $500 to snap violation photos of my place. Dolores, a retired high school principal, had been quietly documenting Veronica's harassment for months. Photos, recordings, letters to other families. Evidence of targeted bullying, discrimination, a plan to force sales. And the kicker, Veronica's California law license. Suspended for mishandling trust accounts. Her perfect life. Max cards, 3 months behind on her mortgage. She wasn't powerful. She was desperate, using threats because she had nothing else. I installed pro-grade security cameras everywhere. Motion, night vision, the kind that catches sight thieves. Called property rights attorney Tom Martinez, who hated HOA bullies. My crew backed me with blue-collar solidarity. Mackenzie helped organize docs, asking sharp questions like, "Dad, is lying in official letters illegal?" We weren't just saving the cabin. We were protecting the whole community. 2 weeks later, Code Officer Harold Wessler rolled up with Veronica for a bogus, unpermitted structure citation on the workshop. $25,000 fixes or demolition. I recorded calmly, asked for specific codes. Harold squirmed. Veronica's smile slipped. That afternoon, I tracked down retired contractor Jimmy Kowalski. He remembered Grandpa's perfectionism, had the original 1,983 permits, inspections, approvals in his basement. Solid proof the building met codes then and was grandfathered. Harold called later off record. Veronica pressured him with campaign donations and expectations. He promised to back a harassment complaint. Then my cameras caught Veronica at 12:47 a.m., sneaking onto my land with flower pots, placing them to fake encroachment evidence. Clear trespass, attempted fraud, video gold. Things escalated fast. Process server at dawn with her $2 million devaluation lawsuit, seeking a restraining order barring me from my own property. Tom said, "Bring everything. We countersue." Digging revealed Veronica's $180,000 credit debt, defaulted mortgage. Lakeshore Properties was buying distressed lots via HOA harassment schemes, kickbacks to Veronica. Then the bombshell, Willowbrook HOA never properly incorporated. Rejected filing in 2019, never fixed. All fines, fees, actions, meaningless. She collected nearly $430,000 from 47 families illegally, pocketed most via personal expenses, spa trips, vacations. Embezzlement, fraud, wire fraud, racketeering. Forensic dives showed $250,000 plus missing, matching her accounts and a $50,000 liaison fee from Lakeshore after ramping up enforcement on lakefront owners. Lakeshore planned a $15 million luxury resort. Needed our properties cheap. Veronica's cut, $500,000 to vanish. We built a coalition. Veterans from Grandpa's VFW crew for patrols, Dolores organizing records, PI helped tracing funds, DA fast-tracking charges. Media got involved, local paper, TV. We planned a veterans memorial garden on the boundary to honor locals and claim community space. Veronica panicked. Tried dissolving the HOA to grab leftovers. Court froze assets. Then smear flyers calling me dangerous, violent, drug-related. Robocalls, fake reviews, even false CPS report on Mackenzie. Community rallied. Veterans surveilled the crisis firm. Parents flooded the school with support. CPS closed it in hours as malicious. Cameras caught Veronica's final snap. Midnight vandalism. Spray painting foreclosed. Smashing windows. Planting drug paraphernalia to frame me. Clear face shots. Fingerprints. 911. Arrest for breaking/entering. Vandalism. Evidence planting. False reports. Town hall exposed it all. Banking records. Footage. Victim stories. DA filed 23 felonies. FBI added federal wire fraud/money laundering. Veronica's crisis team bailed. Her offshore shell held $380,000 stolen funds. IRS involved. 6 months later, 5 years prison, $2. 8M restitution. Full refunds plus interest to victims. Ed Kowalski paid off his mortgage. Others breathed again. The memorial garden bloomed. Native flowers, granite stones with Grandpa's words, "Nobody can take what you build with your own sweat." McKinsey's pre-law path inspired. Community association reform for real good. Playgrounds, scholarships, festivals. Our story sparked a statewide task force, exposed similar schemes, saved millions. Lakeshore indicted nationwide. Now when I sit on that porch at sunrise, coffee in hand, loons calling, the peace feels earned. Bullies count on silence. We refused. Ordinary people, standing together, can topple empires of lies. Your turn. What's your HOA nightmare? Check your association's incorporation lately. Drop it below. Subscribe for more chaos where entitled power trips meet reality checks. Corruption only wins if good people stay quiet. Your voice can change everything. Warning: all stories fictionalized for